meeting's already been called to order. So we'll. Oh, okay. Robert Hathaway had a ruptured appendix. I don't think completely, but it was definitely about to. And he had an operation and everything, and came in today and tried to. He was going to try and be here, but I think Lucretia said he was pretty pale after just climbing the steps and everything. So that's the reason he's not here tonight.
When did this happen? When
I think Friday. I think Friday.
Friday afternoon.
Friday evening.
Yeah.
Evening.
Somewhat emergency surgery, I would say. But
Some people won't
but anyway, just remember him, and say a little prayer to that he heals up good and everything. We want him back. Okay. Okay, we'll start out with the prayer by Dan Roberts and the pledge, then by Kathy Valentine.
Gracious Heavenly Father, be with us as we start this new year. Guide and direct us in our endeavors to provide and maintain the services to which all county residents are entitled. Grant us the wisdom to exercise proper judgment in any decision that might affect Boone County and its residents. Create in each of us a spirit of honest cooperation, for it is only through cooperation that we'll be able to fulfill the obligations we each assume when we accept this office. In your name we pray.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, and Linda, if you would call the roll, please.
Kara Staten,
Here.
Frank Hansen,
Here.
Dan Roberts,
Yes.
Brian Snavely,
Here.
Kathy Valentine,
Present.
Sam Tinsley,
Here.
Robert Meek,
Here.
James Hart,
Here.
Ralph Quinn,
Present.
James Widener,
Here.
David Thompson.
Here. Okay, and now, we would like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of January 12th.
There's a correction that needs to be made to the minutes
I believe that is right.
from the adjournment.
Yes.
David Thompson moved to adjourn, and he seconded it to adjourn. Nobody thinks go faster, it's worked that way.
And I don't remember whether I made the motion to second or
You
first
made
did.
the motion first.
Okay.
I did the motion.
Maybe, I think probably Sam.
I did the motion second.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, if you did, you remember it better. All right, well,
Say that again.
David Thompson made the motion to adjourn,
Okay.
and Kathy Valentine made the second.
basically, that would be a motion to amend the minutes. And is there a second for that?
I'll second.
Okay, motion and second to amend the minutes to reflect the motion and second for adjournment in the previous meeting.
I move to accept
Second.
the minutes.
And the agenda may, oh, okay.
Who seconded? You did.
So approved as amended. Very good.
And the amendment was,
The second thing, the motion and second on adjourning. That was the only amendment, right? That was the only amendment, was the correction on the adjournment. Big deal. But it needs correction. Okay. Treasurer's report. Oh,
I'd like to make a motion to amend tonight's agenda.
okay.
We need to make a correction to the agenda as it was sent out last week. It is the Board of Governors, not the Board of Directors of the Medical Center.
Okay, we do have a corrected copy of the agenda somewhere here.
Yes.
I think we did.
yes, we did.
That had been corrected. The
Okay.
Board of Governors had been, that terminology had been corrected.
Okay, and, well, then I won't even touch on what was corrected, but I would like to add something to new business.
Okay.
And it can be at the end. I'd like to open up a discussion about having a call at night for committee meetings.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second to add this to the agenda? Okay, Brian says. Okay, that's duly added to the agenda. And, okay, then we'll go to Tommy Stringer's treasurer's report.
Okay, the beginning balance of January the 1st, 2015 for County General was $2,502,510.10. Revenues for the month were $454,645.82. Disbursements for the month were $575,703.29, resulting in a balance on January 31st, 2015 for County General of $2,381,452.63. Beginning balance as of January 1st, 2015 for county roads was $409,342.37. Revenues for the month were $155,487.84. Disbursements for the month, $223,517.39, resulting in a balance on January 31st, 2015, $341,312.82. The 1/4 cent sales tax revenue for January were $112,949.43. 1% county sales tax revenues for January were $257,160.95. General revenue turnback for January was $14,271.75. Highway revenue turnback for January was $84,594.41. The 1/2 cent state highway tax for January was $41,040.15.
Thank you, Tommy. Okay, now any Quorum Court Committee reports. I believe the minutes for the committee meetings that we've had are attached to your minutes of the previous meeting. But any of the chairpersons that would like to comment on their various committees are welcome at this point. I'd just comment on the Budget and Finance Committee meeting. Basically, it again, our meeting is reflected by the ordinances presented in the meeting on the agenda tonight, primarily. Okay, and now under announcements and presentations, we failed to last month to recognize David Etheridge as our new prosecuting attorney. Like to welcome you on board, and also like to say appreciate the help last month.
Glad to do it.
And we'll continue to need help.
Glad to do it.
All right, well, we appreciate it. You want to stand up and make a speech or anything?
Nah.
Okay. We'll let you.
When I stand up and make a speech, bad things have happened.
You got elected today.
That's right.
All right, okay, well, we welcome you aboard. And next, we have the annual report from the Board of Governors at NARMC. Dennis Lott and Vince Least, I believe, has the presentation.
Thank you very much. Mr. Lott lost his voice today, so I got volunteered to make the presentation. First of all, I have a document to present to the judge. At our recent meeting of the Board of Governors, we reported to them that we are in compliance with the lease with the county for the hospital. We've broken the lease into 13 points, and the Board of Governors went over each one of those points. We addressed each one, and we presented to them that we are in compliance. I'd be happy to review these if you would like me to. Otherwise, I'm presenting that for Mr. Lott that we're in compliance with the lease.
All right, any questions, comments, motion to
Where's the
accept?
check?
It's actually attached to the document that I gave him.
They sent it to me, I've already
Oh,
called.
okay. It's a facsimile thereof. right?
Yes, sir.
Unless anybody has any questions or comments, we'll just, I suppose, the report will stand approved as read. Do we need to vote on that? Does anybody want to vote on it? All right, well, it stands approved as read. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you all for attending our little get-together the other night. I really appreciate you listening to me. I get a little, on my soapbox about those issues. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
I'm kind of limited up here, but I would like to reiterate that it was a very good presentation that he gave, and I mean, it's it's concerning. Anybody else that was there, if they want to enlighten anybody about, kind of the issue or anything, it's with our state legislature and the private option and a few other things, why it's getting to be quite a mix there that we need to be a little concerned about. So, that being said, okay, next on the agenda is a request to review the budget of the public defender, and Tim Bunch, public defender, is here, and you're recognized now, sir. All right, I believe they've made the rounds.
If you'll look on this document, you'll see two columns. The first is the 2015 amount that the public defender requested for a budget that was submitted to the Quorum Court at the end of 2014. And the second column shows the amount of money that was appropriated. What I'm here tonight for is very simply to ask you to reconsider the budget that I initially proposed and to pass that budget that I initially proposed. I've, in bold-faced type, demonstrated the areas that were not funded that I think needs to be funded. Specifically, small equipment, we're asking for an amount of $500. We received nothing. The $500 is, I think, is a reasonable sum in case some of our equipment might break or need repair. This will go a long way toward repairing the equipment or replacing the equipment if needed. Further down the column, you'll see postage, cell phones, and travel. None of those categories were funded. We are asking for $1,000 for postage, $500 for a cell phone, and $1,000 for travel. In 2014, we were granted money in those categories, and although you don't have the 2014 budget in front of you, I can tell you we exceeded our expenses that I'm asking for tonight. We hope to, the amount of money that we're asking for, we hope we can live within that, but we may be a little too optimistic in that regard. We are asking for funding in those categories. And finally, we've requested $5,200 for part-time salary. This allows us to employ a part-time person to assist with clerical matters in our office. We anticipate that would allow us to spend $100 a day for 52 days in the upcoming year to fund a part-time employee to help us with an ever-growing clerical burden that we have. So, if anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to entertain that. Yes, ma'am.
The bulk of your revenues come from the state. What are the county's responsibilities to your office legally?
Maintenance and operation of the office. If you look at Arkansas Code 1687-302, I didn't bring a copy of it, but that basically sets forth the county's responsibilities, and very simply, it's maintenance and operation of the office.
That's what you
That's what I gave you the other night.
Thank you. Pardon me?
I'm gonna read that for everybody.
Okay, statute 1687-302, funding of public defenders. The Arkansas Public Defender Commission shall be responsible for the payment of the following: the salaries of public defenders, the salaries of secretaries and other support staff of the public defender's office, the payment of the cost of certain expenses as authorized by 1687-212. Each county or counties within the judicial district shall be responsible for the payment of the following: the cost of facilities, equipment, supplies, and other office expenses necessary to the effective and efficient operation of the public defender's office. B, funding for these expenditures may be from county administration of justice funds, the county's general fund, the county's public defender fund, the county's indigent defense fund, a county's public defender investigator fund, or any other fund authorized by law for that purpose. These expenditures shall comply with an itemized line item budget appropriated by the Quorum Court, and the compensation of additional personnel within the office of the public defender when approved in advance by the Quorum Court. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Bunch, what does your judicial district cover? Is it just one county or?
No, sir, it's a 4-county judicial district. It's the 14th district. Baxter, Marion, Boone, and Newton counties are included. We have offices in Mountain Home and Boone County.
Are you asking from each county in this judicial district?
Yes, sir. Each county, we submit a proposed budget and it's acted upon.
Each county is asking for $5,200,
No, sir.
so we're talking about $20,000.
No, sir. Baxter County funds a part-time secretary for the Baxter County office only. $5,200 that we're asking for, we also asked for $5,200 from Marion County, and they approved that. This county appropriated $3,000 of the $5,200 that I asked for, and Newton County's contributed a small sum of money. But
Will this $5,200 you're asking for, will that be spent by and for Boone County only?
it's
Are we
difficult
gonna
to segregate
pay for
it
it?
out because the Boone County office handles Marion County work and also all of Newton County. So, can I tell you that a part-time person is not going to prepare a document for a Marion County client? No, I can't promise you that. But I can tell you that with the amount of money that Marion County has already appropriated for us, and if this county appropriates $5,200, we could have a person come in 2 times a week, and 1 day a week they could basically be doing Boone and Newton County work, and the other day of the week they could basically be working on Marion County files. But if something came up and they needed to work on another file in another county, they would do that.
Tim, I have a question. The other counties, how much total? What's Boone County, what, 16,000?
Something like 16.5.
Do you know how much Boone County, your budget for 2015 is right now, as it stands for Boone County?
16,500 is.
What about the other counties? What are their total budgets toward your office? Like Newton County and Baxter County?
Newton County's about 6,000 that they appropriated. Marion County's, I'm just going off the top of my head, somewhere around 8,000 to 10,000. Baxter County, I wouldn't venture a guess, but I can tell you they're funding a part-time secretary for $17,000. So, and that's before you even get to office expenses and other expenses. So Baxter County is funding at a level that is much greater than any other county.
But the secretary in Baxter County she or he is doing work for you, for Boone County maybe,
No,
Newton
sir.
County? They're strictly handling Baxter County cases.
Part-time Baxter County secretary only works on Baxter County cases.
Do we work on anybody else's? Like they're working on their own? Are we working on our own with this
Yes.
5,200? Are we
Yes.
gonna share
Well,
our efforts with other counties
as I said
using
earlier,
this 5,200?
as I said earlier, the Marion County is contributing $5,200 for us to hire somebody to work on Marion County work. But if you're asking me if all $5,200 is going to go solely for Boone County cases, I cannot promise you that, because we handle Boone County, Newton County, and almost all of Marion County from the Boone County office. So to segregate it as you would perhaps want us to do, it's really not practical for us to do that. We just don't have the manpower to do that,
Or the money?
or the money.
Why is the state turning you down? I mean, what's the excuse they're giving you that they cannot supply you more cash?
Right now, there's a hiring freeze. I couldn't comment on why they're doing what they're doing. It's state level, and I deal with the county level.
Okay, I would entertain some kind of a motion that somebody might want to take. Now, we can look at the entire request. We can look at any part of that. If anybody feels like making a motion to amend that or whatever.
I'll move that the Budget and Finance Committee look at the entire thing, the new committee, and make recommendations.
We've done that.
Actually, it just came from Budget and Finance Committee, and,
Oh, this has already been through?
yes,
What,
yes.
what was the recommendation?
Well, it was a, would you like to record? Not to recommend.
I have a question, Mr. Treasurer. Am I correct, the total funds available, that was 19.5 and 19.6 something?
They still have
31.
somewhere in the ballpark of $3,100 they can budget out of their dedicated funds.
Except your cleanup ordinance took $500
Right.
million out of that, so.
It's actually in the ballpark of $2,000. I looked today and it's about $2,000 that he has left in his dedicated funds to budget that are not budgeted. So,
And those
Yes.
are some of the deals that you had mentioned about the potential for 100% budgeting on a few of those dedicated funds.
but yeah, I looked at it today and it's, I want to say actually $1,900 and something dollars.
And the figures that I come up with were 26.55.98, actually, to the penny. And I would make a motion that we at least look at the possibility of budgeting that additional money to his budget. Appropriating, I should say, that additional money to his budget. Where you would put it, I don't care.
Is the 5,200 for the year or for a short period of time, quarter?
That would be for the entire year. I mean, that's what he's requesting. Okay. You have a motion
I
to,
would appropriate the balance of funds available to that department.
okay, and that would
Where
be,
they put it.
that would be subject to the actual figure that we
Absolutely,
find.
absolutely.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion and a second to appropriate basically the carryover left in that account, right?
Well, it's the remaining funds to budget that they did not
Okay,
budget.
remaining dedicated funds that weren't budgeted. And that's right at $2,000. So that's the motion and a second. And any more discussion on that motion?
Now, we're talking about giving him the $5,200.
No. No, at about $2,000, there is a dedicated fund that he had some carryover in that was not budgeted for the 2015 year.
That's the way you understand it?
I understand the proposal that's being made.
Is that what you want?
Well.
What do you want?
If we're only gonna be granted $2,000.
That's $2,500 more.
Then I would ask that we not fund the part-time help, because we can't function without postage. That's not realistic. We have to be able to contact our clients. It's not realistic that we have no money for travel. We have to go to the jail, we have to go to crime scenes, we have to travel for continuing legal education. We need some money in that category. Cell phone, I would ask that be fully funded, because if I'm on the road and somebody in this office or the Mountain office needs to get in touch with me, the only way to do that when I'm in a courtroom is by cell phone. And
I suggest we give him the money.
Well, we've got a motion and a second on the floor currently, and we need to vote that up or down or amend it. We can amend that.
And we're in discussion right now.
Yes, we're in
And he
discussion.
can take this $2,600 and next month we can appropriate it into wherever he wants it to.
Yeah, he can, I mean, he can distribute it. I mean, that's his job. Any money appropriated to him, he kind of assigns where it needs to go.
Well, he's asking for help, and we need to give him help, plain and simple. He's doing the job, and he's having a hard time doing the job that we want him to do, and yet we're holding back in some ways of not giving him enough money to do the job. And that's kind of ridiculous, really.
Call for the question.
Just
Chairman,
explain.
Justice Hampton, it's a major task for us to shore up things here in Boone County without doing it for other counties. And if $2,600 will do the travel and the postage and the postage, travel, and whatever that is $2,500. That will be a help.
Mr. Bunch, I see that your request was $9,000 and you were granting $6,500, so that's the $2,500 that we're talking about, isn't it? What you're asking.
very simply, I'm asking that the budget that we submitted, proposed at the end of 2014 be adopted.
Well,
All right.
what is in the carryover account should bring us close to that $9,000. So I would like to call for the question, please.
All right, on this, I was going to do this earlier, but are there any comments from the public on this? If we've exhausted the comments and questions here. Sir? You can borrow the podium, he'll slide to the side.
Okay, well, I don't want to displace him.
Well, that's all right. No, he's all right.
On this over budget that he had, who paid for that, or
It was
was
under
it paid
budget.
for?
It was under budget.
Well, what I meant is he needed more money than he got. Was that money spent, and if it was, where would it come from? What department, or what account, or the state, or
It would be his, well, the money that we're talking about appropriating to him, the motion on the floor is an amount that is left in his carryover for him alone.
Well, this concerns the motion on the floor, I understand, that makes sense to me, but what I'm saying is that comment he made about he didn't have enough money, was there something he had to cut back on because of that last year, or not? And if there wasn't, then the money was spent, where did it come from? That's my question, I don't know how.
The money from his budget last year, where did it come from? Or
The money that either was or wasn't spent because the budget didn't cover it.
That hasn't been appropriated.
okay, where did that money come
It
from?
wasn't appropriated, right? Was there money spent? And if it was, where? That's what I'm asking.
The budget process. It just wasn't appropriated, that's all.
I understand that. It wasn't appropriated. Was it spent?
No.
No.
Thank you. That was
It's-
all I wanted to
We're
know.
appropriating unspent money. Is that the,
I don't understand. Well, okay, Not sure I got the answer, but
He did not overspend in the fiscal year 2014. He had a little money left, and that's what we're appropriating to him in the 2015. Now, that's the motion on the floor.
I understand
Okay, we'll vote now, and I suppose, roll call?
Okay. Brian Snavely,
No.
Kathy Valentine,
Yes.
Sam Tinsley,
Yes.
Robert Meek,
Yes.
Jim Hart,
Yes.
Ralph Quinn,
Yes.
James Widener,
Yes.
David Thompson,
Yes.
Kara Staton,
Yes.
Frank Hampson,
Yes.
Dan Roberts.
Yes.
So just one nay.
And, okay, the motion passed to appropriate the unused portion in the dedicated funds. And that, whatever that amount is, I mean, it's gonna be right at 2,000. Yeah, we can fill that number in. Okay.
Tommy, will you have that figure for him later?
No, I guess.
Okay, I'd like to take a step back here now, and I think there were agendas available to the public as it came in. Everybody had a chance to look at all of those sufficiently. Thank you, Mr. Banks. At this point, before we get into the rest of the agenda on the ordinances and everything, I'd like to give the public an opportunity to comment on the agenda for this evening. I didn't realize that was going to be as long a deal, or I